Welcome to episode 12 of the M Coupe project, and today I'm going to be working on the A pillar along with the door over here. Hopefully by the end of today I can also get to work on the rear quarter panel, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright, this is pretty much dry and ready for me to sand, and after I finish sanding this I'm going to add a layer of automotive primer, then this needs to be sanded one more time and it should be good to go. So let's go ahead and get sanding. I'm going to start off with 400 grit, mainly because, well, of the door dings. I want to knock off as much material without, having deep scratches, so I'm going to start with 400 instead of 600. So now that the door is finished being sanded, the surface level of the door should be relatively even. The only way I can fully tell if I got rid of all the door dings would be for me to put on the automotive primer, then block sand it using guide coat. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started with the spraying. Now the driver's side door has its final layer of primer. All I gotta do now is use guide coat again once it fully dries, and then I can block sand it. This should be ready to go. As a recap, I sanded both panels down to the bare metal where there are rust spots, and now they are filled with primers. Well, self-etching primer and filler primer along with automotive primer to be exact. So now as you can tell, the door also has guide coat on it so that I can sand it down to make sure everything is all level. So let's go ahead and finalize these panels. Just like that, the door is good to go. It is ridiculously smooth. I don't think I got out the little door ding over here, but it's all right, it's all right. I think I minimalized it at the very least, but dang, I am so happy with how this door came out right now. It is so smooth. Oh my God, and it's so shiny too. Sick. All right, now for the A-pillar. So while I was doing the door, I think I found using 600 worked best before moving up to 1000 to 1500. So I'm gonna do the same on the A-pillar. I just need to find out how I'm going to sand it without getting water everywhere. So let's go ahead and get to work on that one. All right, now that the A-pillar and the door are done, they are feeling really good actually. It feels really smooth, and I think spending my time masking everything to the best of my ability actually really paid off. So with that being said, this is going to be the next part. I need to actually figure out how to mask off everything, and I need to clean off this fender, then see where all the rock chips or rust spots are. So with that being said, now before I get into it, I'm going to show you guys what's wrong with this specific driver's side quarter panel. As you can see, this part over here has a little bit of bubbling, not exactly sure what this is, but I'm going to sand it down just to get it smooth again. Next up we have rock chips that are here. I'm going to sand all of these down just so that it's a level surface, and then add a piece of primer, and then fix the part in the rear too. Alright, so if you look at these three spots over here, they were rock chips, and actually the ones that went to bare metal, this one and this one, were a spot of rust, or at least surface rust. So I am glad I was able to actually take these off without any further damage to any of the quarter panels from the rust. So with that being said, I realized one specific issue. To actually do a proper job on the quarter panel, I need to take off the rear bumper, but that means I need to take off the fender liner on the other side. So actually, this piece, I might just put self-etching primer and then turn the car around so I can work on the other side. Let me think about it, and I shall update you guys. All right, after some thorough thinking, I think I'm gonna attempt to remove the rear bumper. Now, the reason why I did not initially want to remove the rear bumper was because of my diffuser. It actually attaches to my diff using the bolts applying to the diff, or the heat shield around the diff. So with that being said, let's go ahead and attempt to remove the rear bumper. All right, so I got the bumper on this side loose, pushed it out of the hole, and it looks like I just have enough clearance to fully work on this quarter panel so I can do it properly. Let's go ahead and start scuffing it up, and we can self-etching primer. Alright, so I just finished masking off all the areas. Now it's time to start spraying the self-etching primer. Alright, so the rear quarter panel on the driver's side has now self-etching primer and filler primer. All I gotta do now is wait for this to dry so I can add on another layer of primer again after I sand it, and then sand it again, and it should be like my A-pillar and my door. So, that being said, I'm gonna let this dry and fast forward into a couple days. All right, it's been a couple days, and well, today my friend Harmon has joined me, and you'll see him shortly, I think. He's gonna help me work on this front fender, which is going to be the driver's side. That being said, I'm gonna start to work or continue working on the rear quarter panel. I just need to put guide coat and then start block sanding it, or at least sand by hand. So, let's go ahead and get started with that. All right, now that the rear quarter panel on the driver's side is pretty much done being sanded, I think it's time to put on automotive primer. Not I think, it's time for me to put on automotive primer. So let's go ahead and get spraying. All right, now that the rear driver's side quarter panel is pretty much good to go and just waiting for me to sand it once it dries, I'm gonna move on to the driver's side front fender. Now this fender in particular, Harmon helped sand all the rust off. So all I gotta do now is put on the self-etching primer, filler primer, along with sanding it, then adding on the automotive primer, then sanding it again. Then this will be done. So let's go ahead and put on the self-etching primer. Seems to be about done. Let's go ahead and pick her up and put her to the side. All right, so now the front fender has been self-etching primered along with filler primer. So now I have to let that wait, put on guide coat, then sand it for another day actually. In regards to this, I just put on guide coat on the rear quarter panel, so once it fully dries, I can sand it, see where all the high and low spots are, sand it to make it completely smooth, and this should be good to go. So with that being said, I'm gonna clap and it's gonna continue on to the next day. It is now the next day, and well, I'm gonna hit this with 1,000 grit up to 1,500 grit, then this quarter panel should be good to go. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so now that the driver's side rear quarter panel is officially done, I can move on to another front fender. So now I'm going to sand this off and then add automotive primer as the final layer, then sand it again, then this should be good to go, and I can move on to the other side. All right, if you notice on the front fender, I decided to do another layer of self-etching and filler, mainly because it's reached the part where it's metal again. So I decided to add another layer of primer. So once that dries, I can sand it and I could add on the automotive primer. In the meantime, let's go ahead and pull this out so I can look at the passenger side to see what I had to work on. Okay, I have not started this car in forever. Hopefully this car starts. All right. Wow, I really do miss being in this car, not gonna lie. Holy shit. All right, let's move it out. Not sure I'm right. Holy shit. Looks so crazy, what the heck? Just wow, this is insane. This is, wow. Looks like a whole different car. All right, let's look. All right, that looks significantly different from the other side. All right, so now that we have the climate shoe outside, let's go ahead and look at what we need to work on to pretty much get it ready for the wrap, or at least which panel I need to start prepping. And from the looks of it, it looks like every single panel, dude. First up, we have the rear quarter panel. This right here is scratched. Not sure where this came from, but I need to fix this. Next up, we have the gas cap right here over this portion right over here. I drove off with the gas pump and it dented it. I had it PDR'd, but it didn't really come out perfect. So I'm planning on sanding this down all the way to bare metal and seeing how I can fill that in and possibly make it smooth again. Next up, we have this front door. And as you can tell, this part right here, there's a huge scratch right over here. So that needs to be fixed as well. Now, as for the A-pillar, you can see that there's a spot of rust over here. There's spots of rust throughout all over the A-pillar, so I need to work on the A-pillar, the door, and the rear quarter panel. So With that being said, it looks like I need to work on the rear quarter panel, the door, and the A-pillar. As for the side skirts, I'm not too sure yet. I'm gonna have to wipe the whole entire car down on this side just to see what I'm working with completely. I just know for sure it's the ones that I just mentioned. So let's go ahead and pull this thing back in, but the passenger side has to be facing on the outside and the driver's side has to be facing the wall. Not exactly sure how I'm gonna get out the car, but let's go ahead and find out. I guess this will do for the time being. All right, fingers crossed. I am hoping, like, really hoping that my side skirts are in decent shape. Okay, I thoroughly cleaned every single panel, the A-pillar, door, surf skirt, side skirt, rear quarter panel, and I basically pointed out every single piece of rust or surface rust with blue tape, as you can see right over here. Every single piece of blue tape on top of it lies a little spot of rust, or a huge rock chip, or a really nasty scratch like the one over here. Just so you guys can also get a better picture of everything, let me go ahead and zoom up and show you every single panel, or at least every single piece before I knock or take things apart or knock it down. Again, one of the biggest things that really bothered me was how this door right here was kind of attempted to be repaired. It looks like they just put touch-up paint and just went doop and just literally left it like that. And this has been really bothering me. As for the side skirt over here, as I cleaned everything off, unfortunately there was surface rust over here, over here, over here, over here. And that means I need to take off the side skirt. Next up, we have the rear quarter panel, and over here, here, those are all really nasty rock chips, and it looks like there has been rust on the surface as well, which is very unfortunate. I think this rear quarter panel is gonna take some time because, well, I need to figure out how to smoothen this out, and then I need to knock a lot of things to bare metal just to remove all the surface rust. All right, so now my goal is to take off as much as possible, so whenever I do continue to work on it, it will be a lot easier. I can just straight up mask off the areas and I can just start sanding and start primering too. So let's go ahead and remove this little piece. Believe it or not, this is literally held down by 3M tape, so I can use a fishing line like so. And all I gotta do is fish around it, and this piece literally just came off. I'm surprised it's not like bolted on or anything like that, but yeah. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the door. Oh, shit, oh my God. All right. This car. Anyone who says they like working on cars is bullshit. They only like it when everything goes well and goes smooth. No one likes it when you have to figure shit out. If you do, you're lying to yourself. This should be good enough. Okay, there we go. Oh, there we go, baby. I got it. Hell yeah. Now. Oh shit. Yes! Oh my gosh. That was such a pain in the ass. Holy. Is that a spider? Probably. Alright, let's just move this to the side. That was stuck in my side skirt. Debris. Nope. Alright, so the car is put away for the time being until I find time to work on it again. And hopefully by the time I work on it again, I will finish the passenger side. The driver's side is completely done, and well, needless to say, I am very happy with the whole entire experience. Granted, it's been like, 11 or 12 weeks, but I've learned a significant amount from doing so, and I'm very confident in my abilities to take apart the car now too. So with that being said, I'm gonna call this an episode. So thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you guys on the next one. Deuces.